It would be easy to pull a simple writer's trick at this point. I could tell you what I call an Eden story. An Eden story is a story about the idyllic time before the beginning of our troubles. The trick works well because it resonates so powerfully within most of us. Most human beings seem to long for a time before innocence was lost. Isn't that how many fiction stories begin? There is a short time of peace that sets the stage for the conflict. In this case, the story could start in the time before we came to be controlled by big, bad personal debt. All I have to do is pick a significant decade, say the 1930s, and tell you how most people from that era felt being in debt was evil, and how they worked hard to avoid all debt. Then comes the fall from grace, the moment we sinned as a people and our troubles began. In this case, the role could be played by the post-World War II housing boom led by the new FHA mortgages. I could talk about the terrible compromises of the so-called Greatest Generation, how it was their Diners Club card that introduced our culture to easy debt and made it prestigious. I could tell you this story, but beware, like most Eden stories, it isn't the whole truth. In particular, there just hasn't been a time in our culture, or any other culture, that predates debt. Oh yes, views about debt have changed over time, and I, of course, would like to change your views about debt. But personal debt has a much longer, richer, and more interesting history in our world than our problems in the present. Debt goes back as far as the written record. In fact, there are written records pertaining to debts that predate the invention of modern currency. In every culture, in every time, some human beings have found themselves unable to pay for the necessities of life, and because of this, they have borrowed money and goods to live. For the vast majority of history, when they could no longer pay back their debts, they paid with their labor, enslaving themselves or their children to their creditors. Be grateful you were born in the modern era. Yet, even if debt has always been part of human society and will be for the foreseeable future, attitudes about debt changed over time. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that many common American beliefs about personal debt are not sustainable. Too many households continue to spend more than they bring in each month. If we continue to go deeper in debt, at some point we will not be able to make our payments, and it will have to stop.